about yeah till last class we discussed about inheritance. What is the different types of inheritance, abstraction, what is static, uh, so what is the use of final, what is overloading and what is overriding and so on. Fine. Today we'll be seeing what is polymorphism. Okay, and then exception handling, two things, and I'm going to give you a case study like scenario, like so that you can come up with designing the classes and stuff. Okay. Yeah. Fine. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start with polymorphism. Okay, so you all know we started with called a class called animal, if you remember, and we made that also an abstract class abstract animal, made it right. So let me open in the editor itself in ID. Okay, so yeah, to start with, polymorphism is an object behaving in multiple forms. Object behaving in multiple forms. In runtime only, in runtime you decide which object will be executed. Executed. Okay. So technically speaking, in Java, you can tell a base class reference pointing to subclass object. So far, you would have seen like things like this: animal a equal to new animal. If the class is not abstract, right? If it is abstract, we got an error here. We saw tiger t equal to new tiger. Fine. So these things are quite understandable. But polymorphism is something like a base class reference can point to a subclass object. You can write something like this: animal, an animal reference can point to a subclass called child object, tiger object. This is possible if tiger should extend animal. So that relationship should be there. If that is the case, if tiger is also an animal, if tiger extends animal, you can write animal a equal to new tiger. That is what is called polymorphism, a base class reference pointing to subclass object. So why you need polymorphism is I am writing animal a equal to new tiger with the same reference a. After some time, if I decide I don't want a tiger, I want a lion, I can write like this. Same reference now pointing to a lion. See, a same reference is pointing to different subclass objects. So at runtime, I can decide what I want. So based on that, the program will execute. Fine. So this is what you call by polymorphism, a base class reference pointing to subclass object, an object behaving in multiple forms in runtime. You cannot write like this, like tiger t equal to new animal, which is wrong. A tiger reference cannot point to an animal object. This is wrong. Okay. If you have to write such a thing, you need to typecast it. I will tell those things later. But for now, this is not possible. So you cannot hold a tiger reference to point to an animal object because animal is a huge set. Tiger is a subset of it, or tiger has many things specific to it. Okay, now when I say animal a equal to new animal, animal a equal to new tiger, those things are correct. Okay. So with the help of animal reference, I can access the contents in the tiger object. In compile time, it will think like all these things are inside animal. In runtime, new tiger is coming in, right? In that point only, you will be seeing that it will be accessing the content inside the tiger object. I will show you. So, so we made an abstraction,
Question,
right?
one question here.
Yeah. Yes, we
Ashok,
will. Yeah.
one question here. You have first you have written animal A equal to new tiger,
Hmm.
then you have written A equal to new lion. So, uh, first the tiger will be there, and the next lion will be there, or both will be there in the animal
No,
reference.
no. See, a is just a one variable which will be in the stack. Initially, see, int a equal to 6, next line a equal to 7. Now, well, 6 will be there, 7
Okay,
will be there, or both will be
seven, seven. So,
there. Same thing.
so now it is pointing to lion, right?
Lion. So, tiger object will be there, but might be there, or garbage would have collected. But that is a different story totally.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
okay, okay,
So, two bubbles would have created, and here would be currently
okay.
pointing to tiger. After next line, it is pointing to a lion object. There is, if there is no reference to that particular tiger, it will be garbage collected. Fine.
Okay. So you said it will the runtime we will be deciding which one should come, right?
Yeah, correct.
So I thought,
No, not like that. So runtime we will be deciding
okay,
means we will be writing few methods logically, like passing some argument and decide which object to return. I will show that type of code to you. Okay, so that you
okay,
will understand. So what will be the usefulness of this? So now if you see a make noise method is there, food method is also there. So so cub method also, in cub also you have something called yeah. So let me create one new example actually. Okay. I'll give one more scenario. Now I'm going to decide about the scenario now. Now we're going to give a scenario where RBI is providing a bank class, providing a bank a class. Okay, so each bank will inherit the bank class. In the bank class, you'll having a bank name, okay, and its address, IFSC code, MICR code, and so on. Each bank will have its own thing. Okay, so the actions, these are the attributes. If you see the actions each bank can do is the actions each bank can lend money, okay, and can deposit, accept deposits. So these are the actions each bank can do. Okay, guys. So lend money. So the actions are the behaviors are the methods. So RBI is providing a bank class. Each bank will inherit the bank class. So the attributes are bank name, address, IFSC code, MICR code. It is a big process scenario. I'm just telling a simple example out of it. So each bank can lend money and accept deposits. RBI will not decide it. Okay. So to lend money or accept deposits, what is the interest rate and so on, it will not decide. Each bank will have those lending interest rate, deposit interest rate. We are making a simple bank. So it will lend, not the different types of loans and all. I want to make the concept on this. So simple example. So lend money and accept deposits is a bank is going to provide. RBI is giving the class. So each bank will extend this class. So this class RBI is going to give us an abstract class. So why? Because it will have one method called approval. So all the guys, this is not a what you call, this is not a abstract method. It has some definition. So RBI will have that code. So each bank which is extending RBI class will call the approval method before it is lending or accepting deposits. Okay, if the approval is not there, it will not actually allow it. Got it? Till this point, are you clear, guys? A scenario like what is the abstract class, why RBI is providing to us?
yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, fine. So this is a base class. Now think of the real time scenarios. This class is provided. Now each bank will get this class. They will write their own lend money logics, accept deposits logics. They will have their own interest rates and so on. Fine. So so lend money. If someone calls lend money, he will be returning with the interest rate. Accept deposits means at that time also you will be giving him the deposit, the tenure, and he will be you will be returning it the matured amount, something like that. Some logic we can write. Now coming to this, each bank, what are the different banks we can have? Say for example, we have HDFC or Union Bank or Canara Bank. Say Canara Bank. What Canara Bank will do? They will have their own bank like this Canara Bank. Okay, which gonna extend this RBI. So they're going to write their own bank, and they will be writing the logic for lend money, accept deposits, and approval. Fine, got it. And finally, many banks will be there, and something called you people are aware about these policy bazaars, bank bazaar, right, where you can go there and see the lending interest rate of each and every bank. Correct? Have you seen that? So if you want to take a loan or want to purchase anything, similar to many sites, you will in a policy bazaar, bank bazaar is there. So there you will see each bank. If you take a policy, it will show the interest rate of each bank. Got it? So what they will have all the set of classes of the bank. It's like Canara Bank, Union Bank, and everything. They will write based upon the invocation. They will call which interest rate and so on. Got it? So I can have approval is one method. I can have one more method called interest rate. Interest rate for deposit. This is also an abstract method. Interest rate for uh, loan, interest rate loan. So two things are there. So each bank will be there and you can get. So now I'm going to implement this so that you will have a complete picture of it. Let's do it. Okay. See here. Dot bank. So what I was talking about first, RBI is going to provide us a bank class. Bank. Okay. So what are the methods I told in this? It will be like this will be an abstract class basically. So no one can create an object for a bank. Bank is a generic term. You can create an object for a specific bank you want. Okay. So bank here private string IFSC code, private string address. All this can be protected actually. Okay. String address, protected string MICR code. These are the bank terms. Okay. So now see here. Here I am going to have few abstract methods, which is called for simplify for easier way. I am going to give like get interest rate for deposit, get interest rate for loan. Two methods I am going to have. I am going to make those two methods are abstract. So what I am going to do, protected abstract get interest rate. Okay, get that gonna return me int get interest rate for loan. So if you're going to take a loan, what is the interest rate? Okay, for this particular bank, protected abstract in get interest rate for deposit. So if you're going to deposit, what is the interest you will be getting? Okay, for deposit, I'm making these two methods are abstract. And next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to write one method which is nothing but protected uh, boolean. It's going to return boolean. Reason is the method will going to return true or false, stating whether you can proceed with the approval or not. So that is the approval method, which is not abstract. I have written that particular method alone. Approval, say for example, we will write some logic like some risk index or something, some integer risk index. Someone will pass some risk index, some measurement. Now you need to understand the concept alone, not these codes. Like if risk index is greater than 10, simply I am going to return false. Otherwise, what I am going to do, I am going to return true. That means what? The risk index should be, if the risk index is greater than 10 and risk index risk index is greater than 10, either this one or risk index is less than 0. If you want to have negative value, I'm going to return false. Okay, otherwise return true. Just think of some logic the bank RBI has. Okay, so this is our abstract class. People gave it to us, and now each bank will look into it and they will see, okay, we need to go for bank for any approval before we getting any process or something. Fine. So now what we need to do is this thing. Next, you can have one more class. So now Canara Bank is also creating Canara Bank. Got it. So this gonna extends bank. So what I'm going to do, add unimplemented methods. So see here in Canara Bank, interest rate for loan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have an interest rate for loan is I have 10% or 13%. Interest rate, if you deposit some amount, Canara Bank is giving you 10%. Got it? Yeah. And in Canara Bank itself has some good methods like public void description about its own bank. It's gonna provide something. Public void string description of the bank. So what Canara Bank will say, written something like welcome to Canara Bank. Got it? Public void, yeah, public string description. Right. So this is what Canara Bank. So which is extending. So in Canara Bank, you already have this IFSC code, address, MICR code, and everything. And these things you can call approval methods for anything if you want or something. Approval methods also if needed. Okay. And now I can make like source, generate getters and setters. Like a bank class itself it has, so we can access from the bank class. Okay, not an issue. Let's wait. What what I can try to do is I can have setters and getters here itself. Okay, done. So this is a bank class which is provided by RBA, and this is a Canara Bank. Now I'm going to create one more bank which is called Union Bank as well. That also extends bank. Okay, guys. So extends bank. So here what I'm going to do, add unimplemented methods. So two abstract methods are there. The subclass need to take care. Yesterday we discussed, right? Sorry. Add unimplemented methods. Yeah. So for let us have Union Bank interest rate for loan. Union Bank is 15%. Interest rate for deposit. Union Bank is 12%. And similarly, Union Bank don't have a description of their bank. Union Bank have their own method called public void public string display branches. So it has a method called displaying all its branches. Okay, simply I am going to write return Chennai, Chennai, comma Madurai, or something. Okay, some branches. It's just an example. So see here, Union Bank has a facility to have utilize what are the things the bank have, and also its extra methods. So to showcase in his website and so on. So Canara Bank, Union Bank, and next we can have SBI, State Bank. It's a third one. So extends bank. Okay. Now yeah, again, state banks provide one type of interest, correct or not? Add unimplemented methods. So here interest rate for suppose this is 8%, and here interest rate for deposit is also 7% for State Bank. Okay. Okay, guys. So things are done. State Bank is providing public string get contact, get customer care. Some info it providing. So it will return some customer care address or something, some number. Got it. So State Bank is providing this info. Now you got it right. So now can you guys tell me what type of inheritance we did here? We had an abstract class bank, Canara Bank, State Bank, and Union Bank. What type of inheritance is this?
Hierarchical.
Yeah. So this is an example for hierarchical inheritance. Okay. Yeah. So bank class is there, Canara Bank, State Bank, Union Bank. All the banks are inheriting the bank class, and it has some options. Now see, now all these classes. Now Bank Bazaar is obtaining all these classes. Think of three different clients here. Bank is given by RBI, Canara Bank, State Bank, Union Bank. This is their own classes. Now what they will do? Now a guy called Bank Bazaar will import all these classes, get all these classes, and writes his logic, his own interface as a website, Bank Bazaar. Okay. What this guy will do? Will call all these classes and display in their screen. So this is a test class, Bank Bazaar. Okay. Now see. So what Bank Bazaar will do? Now it will write two methods: get interest rate, private static int get interest rate. So here it will pass an variable called bank b. So wait, return b dot get interest rate for loan. Okay, it has these two methods. Similarly, it will write one more method, private static in get interest rate deposit. So b dot get interest rate for deposit. Fine. So things are fine. So now see. So if some user will enter, okay. So it's think of like a screen. Multiple things are there. User can choose one bank. So I'm going to create a string like the user can select a bank. Got it, guys? So what I'm going to do once the user selects a bank, Based upon that bank, I am going to create my object. That is where polymorphism is great. So before running those, before calling this, let me explain you what are the things that can be done and that cannot be done. I can make bank B equal to new bank. Is this possible, guys?
No.
Yeah. Reason?
Bank, it's an abstract class. Bank is an abstract class.
Yeah. So bank is an abstract class. You cannot instantiate bank. Correct. That's one point. Can I make bank B equal to Canara Bank? Is this correct? Yeah, it's correct. No error. Can you tell me the reason why it is allowing? That is what it is called polymorphism. Okay, a base class reference, B is a base class reference, can point to a subclass object, which is totally allowed. Okay, I cannot say State Bank B equal to New Canara Bank, which is totally not at all related. Okay, State Bank is also a extends bank, Canara Bank also extends bank, but you cannot write State Bank B equal to Canara Bank. You can very well have a base class reference pointing to a subclass object. I cannot write like this also, like State Bank B equal to new bank. This is wrong. Okay, suppose if your bank, inside bank you have a sub state bank details. For this to work you need to typecast. This is called typecasting. State Bank of, that means the new bank object will totally change it to State Bank way. Got it? Yeah, if bank is not an abstract, that also if a bank is not abstract. Got it, guys? If bank is not abstract, I can typecast the bank to State Bank. So this is downcasting. But general way, what you do, bank B is equal to new of Canara Bank. Able to understand what is polymorphism? A base class reference is pointing to subclass object. Okay, at runtime it will decide where to go. Now see, system dot out dot println B dot get interest rate for deposit. Got it, guys? So what will happen when I call this? When you click here in the editor, it will show the abstract class here only. But in runtime, what will happen, right? It will inject a Canara Bank object. So automatically, this get interest rate for deposit will be returned from the Canara Bank, which will print as 10. Got it, guys? So what we are doing, we are creating a base class reference, which is pointing to a subclass object, and we are doing like b dot get interest rate for deposit. In compile time, if you click, it will take to the bank class only, because B is a reference of bank. But in runtime, since it is a Canara Bank object, you will go to that Canara Bank bubble and fetch it here. That is what I mean by runtime. Got it? So in the next line itself, if I change like B equal to, what is it, new Union Bank, and I try to print the same thing, same line. I will not change anything with respect to the line. It will print the union banks. So that is what polymorphism. A reference is behaving in multiple objects with same reference B. I can inject a Canara Bank, I can create an Union Bank object pointing to it. End of the day, these codes are same. Okay. Whatever I want, I will change it. Tomorrow, if another bank comes, simply I can add that bank and I can change it. Got it? Any doubt, guys? What do you mean by polymorphism generally? A base class reference can point to a subclass object. Okay. Yesterday we were talking about inheritance, interfaces, right? So we may ask, like in interfaces, nothing is there. Okay, no methods are there. Only signatures are there. Why we need for interface? Because of this, you can establish a polymorphic behavior. Okay, you can create an interface with an interface reference. You can very well create a polymorphic behavior with respect to that. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what are the classes we had? Bank. Okay. So in the bank is an abstract class. Fine. And you have a Canara Bank which extends bank. And State Bank extends bank. Union Bank also extends bank. Now Bank Bazaar. Bank Bazaar will have a control of all these four classes. And in Bank Bazaar, I have created an object for bank B equal to new Canara Bank. Meaning B is a reference, which is a base class pointing to Canara Bank's subclass object. B dot interest get interest rate for deposit means in runtime it will go to the Canara Banks. Next line B equal to new Union Bank. In runtime it will go to the interest rate for deposit of Union Bank. So by developing this type of code, the extension to the code will become very easier. No if else, nothing will be there. You will be very easier to get an extension of a code. Extension of a code means if a new bank comes into the picture, tomorrow HDFC Bank comes here. Okay, for Bank Bazaar that doesn't not a big matter. It will still use the bank B reference to point to a new object so that it will achieve the necessary. So next thing, what are the things that are available in B? With B, what are the things I can access? Even though B is pointing, this is important guys, listen, even though B is pointing to Canara Bank object, whatever there in bank class, that only B dot can do. B dot, if I put B dot, what are the things that are coming? Address coming, IFSC code, MICR, approval coming, and these getters are coming. But if you remember, I wrote one method specific to Canara Bank, which is description. That is not at all coming in B. So if I type B dot description, it's not there. It's not possible. So with the base class reference, whatever you can do, whatever there in the bank base class only you can access it. If it is common to both, it will prefer the subclass one. Simple. Okay, that is called overriding. We did it already. Okay, but the methods which is in Canara Bank you cannot access with the base class. Methods which are specifically in Canara Bank you cannot access with the B reference. That's why that description is not coming. See, a description, it's not coming at all, not at all listing at all. See, B dot description not coming. Suppose if I make this instead of that, if I have like Canara Bank C equal to new Canara Bank, with C I can get the description. See here, C dot description. But with the base class reference, I cannot access the subclass specific methods. It should be common in both or base class alone. I got this point. With C I can have a description. With C I can have all those things in base class also. Okay, approval and everything. But with B, even though B is pointing to a Canara Bank object, whatever they are in bank class, these things only will be available. Okay, with the help of B you can do. If you access get interest rate for loan, at that time the customer Canara banks will be referring. Approval means it will come to here. Any doubt guys? With the base class reference what you can do, with subclass reference what you can do. This is very important. Vivek understood or confused?
Yes, sir, I understood.
Yeah. Harika yourself?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sai, what is your doubt?
If I create bank B equal to only new bank means I can access both the both the base class and subclass. But if I
No, no,
give
no.
new Canara Bank means I can access only.
Bank B equal to new bank
Oh,
means
so
where it is subclass base class, man. It's only one class you are doing.
no.
Ask your question clear.
Okay, okay.
So bank B is
Uh,
equal to new
So
Canara
we
Bank B.
cannot create objects for abstract class, right?
Yeah, that is one point. Yeah, you cannot create object for abstract class. If at all bank is
no.
not an abstract also, if you put bank B equal to new bank, that is totally a separate entity. You will only be able to see the bank's content. That's it. Okay. So polymorphism is a way a base class reference pointing to subclass object. So bank B equal to new Canara Bank. You can do that. But with help of a B, you can access the things which are in bank alone. Okay, which are in bank alone. If you
Okay.
try to B dot something, if it is there in Canara Bank, it will give preference to that. Okay, if it not, it goes to the bank's method content only. The things which are specific in Canara Bank will not be accessible with B variable. Got it?
Yeah, okay, okay. I got
Yeah,
it.
with the parent class reference, it should be there in the bank class because obvious in compile time. See, when I click this editor in compile time, where it is taking me? It is taking me here only. It is not even looking to Canara Bank at all. Even though you wrote this line, it's not even actually considering it all. In runtime only, it will decide. Oh right, Canara Bank object is coming here, so I need to go to the Canara Bank's interest rate for deposit. Got it? Even though it's abstract or not, that is
Okay.
secondary.
Okay.
It gives a preference like that.
So I should either have, if I create a Canara Bank object, either it goes to the bank function or it goes to the function which is common to both the things.
Yes, exactly. Correct, correct, correct. So bank B equal to bank reference. If you have a bank reference, it will go to the bank class only. Simple. But in the Canara Bank, if it has a method overwritten, it will go to the Canara Bank. Got it? Specific things to a
Okay.
Canara Bank is not visible to B. For that, if you want to write the specific things to display to the users and so on to the Canara Bank, you need to write Canara Bank B C equal to new Canara Bank. You cannot use polymorphism there. Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. So this is what polymorphism is all about. Now, how are we going to write this? So see this program. What I can do here basically. Uh, okay. So So what I can do, I can ask from the user, like system dot out dot println. I can ask the user enter the bank name. Okay, to see the interest rates, something like this. See, think of a bank bazaar, a drop down box, enter the bank name, or it will be a drop down, you will be selecting in real time runtime. Okay, so the code will be like this: string name. Okay, you know about scanner, right? So scanner sc is equal to new scanner system dot in. Okay, guys, now I will make name equal to sc dot next. So I got the name. So what I will do here, okay, bank, I'm going to write one method, bank b equal to get bank, passing a name, see one method. So this get bank will return me a bank, creating that method. So now I'm going to one logic in this bank. If what I'm going to do, bank b equal to null initially, it's not pointing to anything. I'm going to return b. Okay, return b means going to return the object of b. If name dot equals ignore case, whatever the user entered is Canara. User will enter the Canara, SBI, like that. Okay, the drop down, say for example. What I will do, b equal to, if it is a Canara bank, the user enters, I am going to give b equal to new of Canara bank. See, I am injecting a Canara bank object. This is what I mean by runtime. I will decide. Now see next, else if the user entered name is name dot equals ignore case, if the user entered name is union, I am going to return b equal to new union bank. Next stuff, v dot equals ignore case SBI. The user enters like this. I am going to return State Bank. Okay. Now see, when anyone calls this method, right? Anyone calls this method, either he will be passing Canara, Union, or SBI. If he pass all any of these things, he will be getting an object. Otherwise, he will be getting null. Okay. So if b not equal to null, what I will do, when I will get null, if I pass a name of the bank which is not here, okay, otherwise it's no problem, some object is created. So after calling this get bank method, either in this b, either an object of Canara bank will be there, or an object of Union bank, an object of SBI bank. See how polymorphism is helping. This b can point to any three. So this code becomes very simplified for us. We will simply put b dot get interest rate for deposit, b dot get interest rate for loan, insists out. In runtime, based upon the user input, automatically the particular interest rate will get printed here. Okay, deposit get interest rate for loan. Interest rate for deposit. Interest rate for loan. Okay. Now see here what happens based upon the user input. I will do the else part. This bank is not available in Bank Bazaar. Why in the else part? If bank is null, null means it's not in this particular case. This bank is available in Bank Bazaar. See, because of polymorphism only, the return type of this method is bank. Okay, but it can return a Canara Bank, Union Bank, and State Bank. If Canara Bank, Union Bank, State Bank doesn't extend bank, this is not at all possible. So that inheritance relationship is there. Because of that, now I think you would have understood like interfaces, why we need interface. If there is a scenario that in interface everything is abstract, we don't have any common methods, but still you want to establish a polymorphic relationship, which I was talking about, right? In certain cases you may don't want any of the methods from the base class in order to be totally free. Okay, but still you want some interfaces to establish polymorphic behavior. Okay, yeah, I will give such type of example also. So now when I run this program, yeah, enter the bank name to see the interest rates. Let me enter Canara. See, interest rate for deposit is 10, interest rate for loan is 13. So what would have happened? Bank B, Canara Bank, it would have returned at runtime. In runtime, only B dot get interest rate means it goes to the Canara Bank's object. So this is what polymorphism is all about. And when I put run as Java application, now if I give like SBI, interest rate for deposit is 7, loan, I put equals ignore case, that's why it is matching. Interest rate for loan is 8. Okay. If I give some other bank which is not there, put Indian Bank, is not there. The bank is not available in Bank Bazaar. Got it, guys? So see how the program is. So if I give the requirement without oops concept, what you would have done? How the program would be, I will show you that also. Without oops concept, the requirement is I will enter the bank name. You should display all the details of the bank. Okay, you don't know Java, oops, you don't know how to create class and all. With your mindset, what you will do? You would have created one class. Until this point, are you clear, guys? Before moving, want to understand, is polymorphism clear? You want to understand like whether the code I have, whatever I have typed is 100% clear for you guys, please. Hello.
Yeah, I'm clear.
Yes, sure.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, fine. So now let me tell you, if I give this requirement is same, like this only. Like I will enter a bank name, you need to display the interest rate for deposit, interest rate for loan, two things for each bank. Okay, this is the requirement. So now you don't know oops, but you know Java classes and things. I'm going to create Bank Bazaar. No voice. No voice is something like inexperienced. Some people like creating. So what you will do? First, same thing. This code will be same. You will get the Bank Bazaar name. Bank Bazaar no voice. Until this point is name. What you will do? If name dot equals ignore case. What you will do? Union. You will be putting like Union Bank is 15 and 12, right? So system dot out dot println Union Bank interest rate for what is that? For loan 15 and Union Bank interest rate for deposit is 12. You could create like this. Okay, what it will be? That's it. Program. You would have multiple else ifs. Else if the same thing. Else if it goes on. So you may ask me like, what is this third? This very simple program. Why we need this many classes and so on? Okay, days are gone. Bank bus are created like this based upon the code. If, else if, all those things they are created, and these rates are coming from each and every class. Say, for example, you are using those class, or you need to go to their class and refer what is the rate. You need to edit these rates 15, 12, 13, 14. That is one disadvantage you have. And one more thing, think about 200 banks are there, 100 banks are there, or at least 50 banks. So how this code will be? Lot of else if will be there. That's point number one. The another point is that is point number one. The another point is what will happen if this code goes on more and more. See, now our logic is quite simple. Only two lines. In future, if the user wants to display the entire details of a bank, address, and everything, in each and every else if you will have 100 lines of code. Think about that code in a single class. You developed this code and you went off. Someone developed this code in 1990s and give it to you before oops even entering. And I'm going to work on this code in a project. Some bug is coming. Bug is a defect. When your Bank Bazaar is not displaying a proper details, contact details of a bank. So how much time it will take for you to understand the code, go to that particular if else if and do. If a new thing also comes, you need to again put on more else if. Think of how improper the code structure and everything will be. That is why we are learning oops here. So here what we will do, you may ask here also you have if else if, right? But this is totally a method which is not at all touching with anything. It will create your object. That's it. Apart from creating object, it's not doing anything. Okay, think about these things. This will not even change. Future, if Indian Bank comes in, what only single line of code change you will do? Else if name dot as in the Bank Bazaar perspective, what you will do? If Indian banks comes into the picture, only one single line of code change comes here. B equal to new if Indian bank is there. It's not there now. Indian bank. In the other scenario, because Indian bank, inside the Indian bank they would have created the logic for getting interest deposit for loan. These things will not at all touch. No touching here, no need to touch it here anywhere. Okay, no need to do anything actually. Okay, no need to do anything over here. So only you will add one else if here. Think about in the this case. Here also you will add else if, but you need to write the logic also entirely. Okay, you need to write the logic of entire Indian bank again. Okay, so think about the maintenance and everything. So that is what you need to design the classes. Okay, you need to be in a position to design classes more effectively. Got it, guys? Any doubt you have? What is polymorphism? Why we go for? What is the need?
No doubts.
Clear.
Yeah, great. Harika, yourself?
So kindly.
Okay. So this is how polymorphism is all about. If you take the textbooks and even if you read it like at first Java or something, so it will be explained like you have a base class reference which is pointing to subclass object. Okay. So here bank has some mechanism like bank class doesn't need to be interface here because obviously approval process and all the RBI will have it in its control. It has some logic. Okay. It will not give it as interface and all. Okay, for sure. The reason is RBI has some process in it. Okay, it will not give those things to others. They can just call those things. That's it. So if that is the case, RBI has stuff like this. Now think of a scenario like algorithmic perspective. Okay, in Java itself. Now you are designing. Are you aware of sorting algorithms? What are the different sorting algorithms we have? Sorting algorithms. People who are good in data structure will know. What are the different type of sorts? Sorting algorithm you are aware of.
Merge sort.
Quick sort.
Then
Bubble sort.
Hmm. So you have merge sort,
Radic sort.
quick sort, bubble sort, merge. Lot of things are there. Okay. Java uses merge sort, finely tuned merge sort. Okay. And one more thing also, it is called Java internal sort method uses merge, quick, bubble. One internal fine tuning, which is called. Don't remember exactly, but merge sort was being used, but latestly they have changed it to some other new algorithm. Okay, fine. So now you want to design, give some sorting algorithms to people. Now you're going to design few sorting algorithms to people. Okay. So how will you come up with a design? Can you tell me? So as a client of using your all the classes, I should change my sorting algorithm as per my need. Okay. So what I can do? First step, I can think of what I can make an abstract class. I can create a class called abstract sort. But next I will think whether I need an abstraction for that. Not necessary. I can make it as an interface because unlike bank, you don't have anything specific process in a sort. Sort what it will do? Sort simply sorts the data. Okay, nothing else. So for that cases, what I can do, I can simply put interface sort. Okay, I can create one method called interface sort. Okay. I can create one method called void sorting. Sort it. Okay, fine. This is a method name. Okay, so by interface everything is public abstract by default. Okay, it will take an array int array. So this is my signature. Now what I can do, I will create class called bubble sort implements.
Ashok, your bad. Ashok, your lab's battery is getting low.
Oh, okay, let me keep charge. So I created a class called bubble sort which implements sort. Implement sort means you need to in interface you need to implement it, right? Here what I will do, I need to define that method for sure. So here void sorted int array. Here I will write what? Bubble sort logic. Okay, end of the day sorting is same. If you pass a array to this method, you will get the array get sorted. Fine. So bubble sort. Now I can create one more class called merge sort. So in that also the method name is same. I create one more class called quick sort. Okay. So see here, now these classes are there with me. I can create a class called sorter, which actually does the logic. Actually calls which they want to sort it. Public static void main string args. Now based upon the user input, okay, user will not ask the sorting method based upon the data or whatever. It's your wish. This sorter isn't like intelligent sorter. Based upon the data then and there and so on, it will call which sorting algorithm is better, bubble sort or so on. First, what it will do, it will create an object for sort. Sort, yes. This is surely not possible. Sort is equal to new sort because you cannot create an object for interface. Abstract class itself you cannot do. Interface is 100% abstract class, no way. So what you can do, sort s is equal to new bubble sort. You can give it. So this is where interface is quite used for establishing the polymorphic behavior. S dot, so you can call s dot sort it. So what will happen, you can create an array, get an array as an input, you can create an array like, right, the normal logic, array new int from 100 whatever you want, and get input from array. So you need to write a for loop and get input, you know that. S dot sort it of array. So what will happen, see, from anyone who sees this code, who never know, anyone who sees this code, if they want to tomorrow change it to merge sort, only one line they will do. Come here, change it to merge. Over. See how polymorphic is giving, how interface is establishing such a relationship to us. No change anywhere. Tomorrow I am coming, changing to merge sort. Tomorrow, as Harika told, radic sort is there, right? If you want to write a radic sort, what you will do? Class radic sort implement sort. Automatically you write sort it method logic. Come here, change it to radic sort. Over. If you don't follow this OOPS principle in public static void main, you need to write all those logics, delete the code, replace the code, write the logic, all the stuff will be there. Think of how the maintenance are. See, no if else, nothing. Okay, are you able to understand, guys, what I am trying to say?
Yes. Yeah.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, can you guys now agree that OOPS Java is like polymorphism helps us in a great way, like polymorphism, inheritance, all these stuff, abstraction, interfaces, why we need what, why all these things are helping us.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fine. So a lot of
I
scenarios.
have one question.
Yeah, yeah.
These things only we even done this in abstract, by using abstract also we done these things only, right?
These
So
things
what
only.
is the major difference between
See, sort method doesn't needs to have
that
anything.
abstract and interface?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So interface, as I told, is pure abstract. That means it doesn't need any. So I already told what is the problem with inheritance. Correct. The problem with inheritance is the child class is largely dependent on base class, which is called, we have the term called tightly coupling. So tightly coupled with the base class. Since it is tightly coupled, any change in the base class, see, RBI suddenly makes mistakes with some approval, but that doesn't happen normally. If some all the banks are affected. Okay, so if
Okay.
certain cases are there, for sort method, you don't have anything specific logic to the parent. It needs to provide a polymorphic relationship. That is why we go for interface. I already told when to go for interface, when to go for abstract class. You need to go for abstract class if you sure, if there is some specific logic you will write in a method which is common to all, which will never change for sure. Go for abstract class.
Okay.
If you need to go for interface, if you don't have any common logic, okay, and but you need to establish a polymorphic behavior, you need to establish a polymorphism, so go for interface. Got it?
Okay. I
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah, that is the reason. Everyone got it right. This is a perfect interview question and answer. So when to go for interface, when to go for abstract class. Another question like interface, what is that? Nothing, no method body also. They're simply defining like this. What we are achieving because of that? People will ask. Simple answer, we are achieving polymorphism because of that. We are establishing polymorphic behavior. Okay, that is the reason. Okay, because bubble sort is also a sort because of this one line. Implement sort, because of this bubble sort is also a type of sort. Merge sort is also a type of data type called sort. So like that we are establishing. That's why see sort yes equal to new merge sort is possible. Clear guys on this? Any doubt?
Yes, sir, sure.
Yeah,
Fine,
no
cool.
doubts.
Okay, so uh, okay, now now what going to the state is developing some something for maintenance of some districts. Okay, maintenance of some districts. Say you have some classes for state, district, and a town. Okay, so you, by now you would know the relationship. What should be in state, district, and town. If I want to build some shop, if I want to establish some shop or something shop, I need to get approval for. Say for example, shop get approval from state as well as a district. First, it goes like the hierarchy. The town should clear some approval, district should give some approval, and state should give some approval. End of the day, it's an hierarchy. Just assuming these cases. So, state, district, and town is there, and approval will be one of the action item in all those things. If I creating a test class or something, so how I will design these things so that if I create a town object itself, okay, so I need to get approval from everyone, like one by one, one by one. So what you will do? What could be the typical inheritance here? What could be the inheritance design here in this scenario?
Ashok, approval will be common for all the state, district, and town, right?
Each one
Approvals method.
in this scenario, each one will have their specific approvals. Okay, reason is the town will approve like whether this is can be approached in this space or not. District will approve like
Okay.
whether it's meeting its guidelines. State will approve whether it's a economic zone or something like that. They have this approval in this case. Fine. So basically, what is the relationship you will establish between state, district, and town? What will be the base class here?
Multi-level multi-level inheritance will be there.
Yeah, basically it will be multi-level.
Okay.
You will establish a state, and next district extends state, town extends district. In each class you will have approval method, approval. Okay. In those type of scenarios, if I create an object for state s equal to new town, s dot approval, if I call, town approval only will be invoked. You know that. Just now we studied polymorphism. State s equal to new town. State s equal to new state, if I create, if assuming state is not abstract, s dot approval, state's approval only will be triggered. If I want with one dot approval itself, if I make state s equal to new town, okay, s dot approval, if I want to make state s is equal to new town and just call s dot approval, I need to get all the three approvals to be done. What should be done for that? What should I do? So for that, in the town class, in the class town, what it could be is public void approval method is there, right, in town class. So automatically when you call state s equal to new town, it will come to the approval in runtime, will come to the approval method of this. Here, first line you can call super dot approval of whatever it is. Then you can write your logic. Got it? So that means what? Class town extends district. Similarly, class district extends state. Again, super dot approval of. And finally, class, you can have this abstract, no issues. Class abstract state, I think it's abstract class, right? Abstract class state. You can have public void approval, no more super off. It is just approval. So see, because of hoops, what is we are able to achieve here? See, these are the three classes: town, district, state. I'm making state s equal to new town. When I call s dot approval of, it goes to the towns. But before getting the town's approval, it goes to the district. Before getting district approval, it comes state. Once state is clear, district will give, town will give, finally approval will be done. Got it? So super dot means super should be the keyword that should be written in the first line of a method if you going to use. Okay, that is a rule. So before your logic goes here, you are calling the approval of the your parent. Before this district goes here, it's called the approval of state. Think about the client code here, one line. Otherwise, how much lines of code you will write? Go to the state approval, one if case, else if another block, else if another block. Are you able to understand, guys, this scenario as well? Any doubt in this scenario? How it is working?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Vivek,
No doubts, Ashok.
yeah. Harika,
No doubts, Ashok. I'm following.
we're following, right? Okay. So can you guys you come across? I'll give you on 5 to 10 minutes time. You guys come with your own case studies. Okay. So real time studies. I was thinking about state districts. I was thinking about sorting algorithm, which is technical concept. I just wrote one more thing like what is the example I give in right here, Bank Bazaar. Similar to that, come up with some real time case studies, website, something you see, right, and come up with some design. Okay, take 10 to 15 minutes time. One case study of your own, come up with your design, explain me what classes you can put as abstract, what are interfaces, what you can have composition, what you have inheritance, what type of inheritance you can come up with, day to day scenarios. Okay, can you try, guys? 10 to 15 minutes time. Once you try, we can go to the next topic, exception handling. Fine.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, okay.
Hello. Hello guys, have you done? Come up with
So
it.
Ashok,
Yes, Vivek.
mm, still working on it. Ashok, no ideas, no.
Okay. Sai?
Should I do it in NetBeans or just I have to present the idea?
Just present the idea, like what is the scenario you're thinking about? What are the classes you can use?
Um, mm, yeah, I can. I thought about electronics. Okay. Uh, I made a base class as electronics.
Okay.
I used variables as a count and a power, just counting the number of transistors like that.
Okay.
And abstract method like get number of transistors.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Um, in derived class, it is like I used fully and fully. I used only abstract here. I mean, in derived class, I used microprocessor extends electronic, and another derived class like uh, integrated IC extends microprocessor and transistor extends IC like that.
Okay, okay. Fine.
And
So
I
if
will do the abstract method.
mm-hmm. So if it is every methods are abstract in that abstract class, you can make that as interface, right?
Oh, okay, okay.
And you said some count, the number of counts for each transistor. Will the number of count changes? I mean, then it's like instance variable. If it is a count for the entire application, it should be static.
Okay, it just varies in microprocessor. It will vary, and the IC it varies.
Okay,
So it is an instance. I'll take it as an instance.
okay, that's fine. That's good. Harika, yourself.
Ashok, I just thought about we are taking census, right? We are taking census.
Okay,
So I thought of making India as abstract class and having attributes like mm, yeah, many states can be derived classes of India.
okay,
Um, we can have state name,
okay.
um, something like that as attributes, and like an abstract methods like literacy rates, number of male and female
Hmm.
in each state.
Okay, fine, fine.
It is that,
Okay, fine. So each state will be another class, and in each state you will be having
it's,
same military rates and
and description about the state,
hmm.
something.
Okay, fine, fine. Okay, that is also fine. So in that time, in that case also you can create objects like India A equal to new Tamil Nadu, India A equal to new some new Karnataka. You can do that. Yeah. So if you dot put a dot get census, you will get the census of Karnataka if you have a Karnataka object and so on. Got it, guys? It's fine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So next is we will see about exception handling. You can see my screen, right? You're able to see my
Yeah.
screen. Yeah. Okay. So now, what do you mean by in Java? You have exception handling. Exception handling. Okay. So far, you would have seen few exceptions unknowingly. You could have seen null pointer exception. Okay. If you access anything null dot something, you would have got this exception, null pointer exception. Maybe you would have seen array index out of bound exception. Okay. Like if you try to access array size is 10, and if you try to access a of 10, because array starts from 0 to 9 only, right? It's like array index out of bound exception. These exceptions are a runtime exception. What do you mean by runtime exception? When you run the program after compiling, when you run the program, then only you will be able to find this. Your program will stop abruptly. That is for sure. Your program will terminate when you find a runtime exception. Getting it, guys? So runtime exception means you should not continue. Something happened logically wrong. Null pointer means you have done some logically wrong. What is the purpose of continuing the program if something logically wrong? There may be more harmfulness if you continue the program. Some awkward results may display or something like that. Fine. And array index out of bound. The reason is why the program should stop is if I have an object and you made it as null unknowingly and you're trying to put display everything, and after that you have some good code which is correct, but because of this, if that the good code is dependent, you may end up in wrong results in the website. Okay, it's always better to terminate the program so that the developer will know something is gone wrong and he will fix it. Okay, so those are runtime exceptions: null pointer, array index, out of bound exception. Okay, so basically I will come up with, so to give an idea what is an exception and an error. So this is exception, runtime exception are this, and similarly you have compile time exception, compile time or checked exception. Okay, so you have runtime, these are runtime exception. This will be happen only at when you run the program. Compile time, the compiler itself will force that some exception going to occur. You need to try and catch it. I will tell you what is a try and catch. So you need to actually catch those exceptions and do your mechanisms. So for example, compile time or checked exceptions are, it can be file not found exception. So you're trying to access a file, load a file in Java, you can get a file not found exception. Because of this, your program need not terminate. Okay, that you can have some alternative flow for that. Alternative flow in the sense, if file is not there, okay, read us from some other place, then let's do some other logic that you should tell as a developer. Okay, so compile time or checked exception, compiler will force to wrap it around to do some alternative when that exception occurs. Runtime exception, no one will force, it will happen in runtime. Okay, these are comes under exception scenarios. Okay, broad classification of exception is checked, unchecked. Checked is compile time, unchecked is runtime. Broad classification of throwable in Java, which is a base class, which will be two things. You will have error and exception. So basically I'm coming from bottom, like what is runtime, what is compile time, and the parent of this is exception for this both. And error, what is error? Even compile time are like file not found, runtime are because of your logic, which both comes under exceptions. Error is something because of your environment. Environment in the sense, there could be case where JVM memory is getting full, out of memory exception. Okay, stack overflow exception, all these things comes under that. So you have out of memory, JVM error, these things comes under error. So this is a diagram to show you clearly. Java.lang is a base class and you have an object for that, and throwable is a class. Inside throwable you can have two things, errors and exceptions. Exceptions is the one we handle, errors we don't have much control. Okay, your environment setup should be correct. Errors means stack overflow. If you run a program recursively, okay, you know recursion maybe. So call a function again and again itself, that is called recursion, right? Without breaking it, call it again. So stack size will keep on increasing if you run a infinite, like an infinite loop. What I'm trying to say is, what is recursion? Suppose I write a function called void call. Inside this function again call. When this will stop? This is like some infinite loop. So call, it will call it, and the stack size, each and every function call, a stack entry will be, you will have an entry in a stack, some space will be occupied. So if you run this, that's it, stack memory is full. At that time you will get an error. Always remember, exceptions are recoverable. Recoverable in the sense, compile time exceptions you will recover in the code itself. Compile time, when you write the code itself, when you put try catch and everything. Okay, in runtime exceptions you will find the logic and you can recover it. Okay, the program only will terminate. The runtime exceptions you need to restart JVMs and so on. Oh, sorry, the errors you need to restart the entire stuff. So errors are not recoverable. Okay, that is specific to the system environment. So the first type is stack overflow. Next is heap. In infinite loop, you're creating new objects. You can get heap space may be full. JVM can go out of memory. So got it, guys? So these things are the differences between error and exceptions. You need to be sure what are the runtime exceptions, what are compile time exceptions, what is the difference between error and exception. That could be the question always, the difference between error and exception. Okay, so how will you handle compile time exceptions? You have something called try and catch block. Okay, try block followed by catch. Catch means you will catch that exception and you will tell what can be done for that. Okay, so try means if I am trying to load a file in Java, loading a file is using a file class, file new, file. If you write like this, here you will give a file path. Automatically what will happen, the compiler will force you to wrap it in a try catch or put a throws or something. So what you will do here, you will make file not found exception. So which is nothing but you can create fn. So what is this? If this gets some exception in line number 25, you can have some lines of code here. You can have some lines of code. Okay. If some exception happens in line number 25, the flow comes in line number 30. File not found exception. Here you will tell what is the alternative way, what is the alternative option you have. Okay. After this, it continue with the program. The program will not stop. Got it, guys? So all the exceptions comes under a root class called exception. Exception is a base class for even runtime or compile time. Null pointer exception, array index out of bound, file not found, all the exceptions comes under the children of exception class. Okay, but file not found exception is a checked exception. Here you will write the logic. If this code is wrong, it will come here. Okay, so it may go wrong. I will show you. So basic difference like what is compile time, what is runtime, what is error, and what is exception. All those things clear, guys. Still, I have not shown how to use it and how it is there. Concept wise, like what is what. Are you clear on that terms?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Harika?
Yes, sure.
There's something called learning, not exceptions. Okay. Int a equal to 7 by 2. This out a. Okay. Int b equal to 4 by 0. This out b. Int c equal to 45. This out c. So when I run this, can you guys tell me what could be the output?
Here the first will be 3.
Yeah.
A is 3. B it's not divisible, right?
Yeah.
So it will throw us an exception or it,
Yeah. Just guess it. What will happen?
I think exception. Exception.
So it
It
will
will be an
print.
exception.
Yeah, it will be an exception. So first line number 8, it will print as 3. Line number V itself, it will not even go for line number 10, 11, 12 at all. That's what I want to know from you guys. So from line number 9 itself, the program will stop. Okay, it will print A, but after in line number 9 itself, it's an arithmetic exception. Arithmetic exception is also a runtime exception because compiler is not forced you anything. It happily allowed you to compile. It happily allowed to edit it here. Okay, so now when I run this only, you will get such exception. These are called runtime exception. See here what happened. Exception in thread. So you got 3 first, but at this line itself the program stopped. No more further continuation. Even see here, this is correct only, nothing wrong. You could have printed C, but no. The program terminated. Exception in thread divided by 0, something like that. Got it, guys? What do you mean by runtime exception, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Similar to this, even array index out of bound exception also there. Int a is equal to new int of 10. and if I write like if I write like a of 14 is equal to 11. Is this correct? A of 14 is not at all there. Array size itself is 10 only. So it will not even come to line number 11 first. In 10 itself is gone. See, not even it showed arithmetic exception. In 10 itself is gone. The program gets terminated after that. Got it, guys? What happens when you encounter a runtime exception, even a null pointer exception, array index, out of bound exception? The compiler cannot think and tell you prior before you run it. But think of these cases. Are you sure, guys? Are you clear on this? Can I erase it? Any doubts you have in runtime exception?
No, sure.
No,
No, dude.
Yeah. So, say for example, what do you mean by compile time exception? See, file to read a file in Java, file is a class. It's a new file of. If I write some type location c colon slash users slash it's Mac it will be like this slash users slash desktop slash my.txt some file. If I have some file in desktop, this is my.txt showing it here. These are escape sequence problems. Okay. So now see what it is showing here. It will not allow to run the program. File cannot be resolved. Okay, I can import file first step. And now when I read this file, right? File input stream. So these are like, don't worry about the code. Just for exception handling, I am telling. Yeah. So what is happening here? Unhandled exception type file not found. That means you're trying to read a file if you put it to a input stream. Okay. So what is the case if the file is not there? That is what compiler is asking you. You need to provide some answer to it. So there are ways to handle it. You can surround with try and catch. See here. This is how it happens. So the particular block which you feel like an exception could occur, put it in a try. If you get a file not found exception, okay, you're going to do some action here. Action in the sense I can print it. What will happen? What is the scenario? This is what you call as compile time or checked exception. The compiler is forcing us. Okay. So the compiler is forcing us. If something happens wrong, it goes here. Say for example, obviously this file is not at all there in my desktop. The path is also not correct. Okay. Sysout e dot sysout I can print like e dot get message. So it will say what is a message. If you print stack trace means entire like from where it happened everything it will print. Okay. So these are the things. Say for example, I am going to print sysout hello world. So how are you? So what will be the output when I run this program? Can you guys tell? Assume that file is not there. Not assumption, that is actually real. I don't have such a file in that path. So what going to happen now? So when this is the first line which is loading the file, but this is a line which is trying to read a file, line number 13. Assume in line number 13 you are getting an exception. So what will happen? Where it will go? It will go to the catch block. It will print the message, stack trace, and then it will print how are you. Okay, the program is not terminating. Since you are trying and catching and you are telling that what to do, it will print what are there in the catch block. After line number 18, it will continue with the program. Got it? Will you think line number 14 will print if you get an exception? Here in line number 13, if you get exception, line number 14 will be printed or not?
No, it will not get printed.
It will not get printed. So F5 input stream FIS equal to new file input stream, you get an exception. That exception is catched by line number 15. Okay. And you simply print the message. That's it. Yeah. So nothing happened here.
What message, sir? It is e dot get message
Get
is what?
message. The message that is thrown by this exception. So now let me run this. You will see. See here what happened. This is a message. Okay. And this is the stack trace. The message is what it is they are showing is they are printing this users desktop my text no such file or directory. And the stack trace is file not found exception. And finally see this also is got printed. How are you? The program is not stopped because you written some alternative like catch the exception, print it, and continue with the program. But you never see that hello world is not at all printed. So what happened in a try block at any line, if you get an exception, a compile time checked exception, you will get it, the flow comes to the catch block. Okay, just a
Okay.
minute. A minute. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, I got.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you understood, right? So hello world will not be printed. At the point where the exception is thrown, it comes to the catch block. In the catch block, you can tell these things. So all the exceptions is parent class is exception. You can instead of that also you can put exception here. That means any of the exception occurred will come to here. Catch. So that is not a good practice because we will lose the original message. Original message in the sense original type of exception is lost. When you simply put exception, okay, if you have some 100 lines before this line number 13, 100 lines after line number 13, okay, you may not know on what cases it come to this line. Okay, so putting specific means you will know that because of file not found only it came. Because how is this working? Again, it's because of polymorphism. Okay, file not found exception, everything extends exception. So you can put an exception also here in terms of, that means base class reference also here in terms of subclass file not found exception object. Got it, guys? So like that you can put. In suppose if you get apart from file not found exception, if you get any other exception also you can write for that. Multiple catches are allowed. For that you can specify exception E. So that means in case int a equal to 7 by 0, this is runtime exception. But since you are catching the exception, the program will not terminate abruptly like what we see in the previous example. It will come here. Okay, it will not come to this file not found exception. It will come to this point. Okay, now wait. Let me show, give a correct file and run this. When I give a correct file and run this, you will understand. Hmm, okay. We'll do this metro.mp4. See, now this path is already available, so it should not throw exception, right, guys? So it should print hello world second. So now what will happen? What do you guess? This path is already there. Can you guess the output? What will be the output when I run this program?
The try block will get printed.
Try block. Ah. So I have some sysout block will
The yeah, yeah, that's hello world and hello world second will get printed.
why 7 by 0 is exception, right? Why hello world
Uh,
second gonna print?
oh, no, no, no. Wait, one second.
So hello world will print and it will throw an arithmetic exception.
It will throw arithmetic exception. So where the flow will come once it throws arithmetic exception? Will the program stops or it will go to somewhere?
It
Yeah,
will stop it.
No, 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 no. It will not stop.
It will
Runtime
go.
exceptions you can catch also. If you catch, the program will not stop. But it's not a good practice to call catch runtime exceptions. In the previous example, the compiler will not force to catch it at all. But here you catched it because of line number 21. What will happen? This is an arithmetic exception, but still it goes to the line number 21. It will print the message, print
Okay.
stack trace, and it will continue with the program. You on your own interest wrote this. Compiler never asked you to do this, but still since you wrote this, it will respect you. Like you are catching some runtime exception also, that means you have some requirements, so it will allow you. Okay, so it throws a type of arithmetic exception. That is also a subclass of exception. Remember, exception is a parent of all, even checked or unchecked. So if you throw a runtime exception here, it will come here only. Okay, it will not go to line number file not found at all. It will not print hello world second, it will come here. Now so when I run this, see here what happened. Hello world is printed and the exception message is e dot get message is divided by 0 and the print stack trace is this java dot divided by 0 and how are you is also got printed. So the program is not terminated basically, it continued. Okay, even line number 26 got printed. The reason is you catched the exception and you did something. You're able to understand, guys? So at the point where it occurs in the try block, it goes to the catch block basically. Okay, so you can have multiple catches as I told, n number of catches. Like suppose if I put like this, I can catch the arithmetic exception itself. Okay, in the next line if I put like this. So now because of that, which line it will go? Will it go to, because of this arithmetic exception? Will it go to the line number 21 or line number 25? Which block it will go?
21 actually.
21. The most specific exception, whatever is there, it will go to the. We try to match the base class subclass first. That's polymorphism, right? If it's not there, the base class guide. Got it? So that's what. So it goes to the 21. Since I have wrote this, but you should never catch these type of runtime exceptions. Generally, people will put an exception at the last catch. If anything goes wrong, also they need to convert into their messages and display to the user. Because in screen and all, if you're developing a website, okay, if something goes wrong and you display in the website arithmetic exception occurred, what people will think about you? Very bad, right? So what you will do, you will catch those exceptions. End of the day, people will do final catch of exception. All the exceptions, checked exceptions will be there, and finally they will catch one exception which is a parent of all. They will convert some message, some internal problem occurred, please try after some time, some message will be displayed. So in the website that message will be displayed. Okay, so these are steps. You can have multiple catch, but one more thing, the order of catch statement is important. This is also an interview question. Like you cannot have the greatest of, that means the most specific should be at the top. Okay, most specific in the sense, if you have an hierarchy, see, file not found arithmetic doesn't have an hierarchy, those are different streams totally, that doesn't matter. But if I have exception and file not found exception as an hierarchy, because exception is a parent of file not found exception. So if I put like this, it will throw error. If I put, you can put multiple exceptions, you know that, but if I put exception first and then file not found exception next, it will throw error. These things are not at all reachable. See, unreachable catch block. The reason is, in the first catch you should have a most specific, that means children should be and finally parent. The reason, then only the compiler will be able to find a suitable match. Otherwise what will happen, everything is an exception, it will come to line number 18 itself, which is not what we want. Correct, guys? Are you able to understand this point? The most
Yeah.
specific should be at the top of the list. Sai and Harika, yourself?
Yeah, I got it. I can understand.
I think Harika slept, I guess.
Yeah, so I'm following.
Okay, are you able to understand, right? Harika, you only. Are you able to understand till this?
Yes, sir, sure.
Okay, fine. So it should be where? It should be the bottom. Okay. So this is what about try and catch and exception handling, arithmetic exception, runtime exception, compile time exception, and everything. And you have one more block called finally. So normally the questions will be like try, catch, try, finally, and so on. Finally is a block that you can use it with a try, even if you have a catch or don't have a catch, to free up resources. So in certain times we could see that the program terminated, certain lines are not executed, and so on. There may be a chance the resources are not freed. That means in line number 15, what happened actually? Some problem occurred. Obviously, line number 16 will never print. Then who will, suppose I have a line called fis dot, the streams that open in a file I need to close. It's a stream, because this stream is listening to your hard disk, I need to close it. But what happened because of this line number 15? I am not able to close it at all. Am I right? I will not be able to close it because line number 17 will never execute. After line number 15, the flow comes in line number 25. So for such scenarios, a finally block is used well. In finally, you can put finally is a block which will execute irrespective of whatever happened. Even if it goes to the try, even if it goes to that, this, whatever happens, it will execute. Got it, guys? So generally, what people will do it
So
like
the hello world,
yeah, Vivek.
so it will never print.
Hello world second will never
So
print.
what can we do to make it print? Ashok?
Which one? Hello world second it will never print. We cannot do anything with this code. 7 by 0 is there, right?
So do
Obviously.
we need to?
Hmm.
So do we need to enter that in finally as well? Or?
No. What I'm trying to say is, after that exception occurring in line number 16, right, there may be few resources which is not freed from heaps memory or something is still pointing to a disk. You need to close those.
True. Yeah.
Those things you can give it in finally. Got it?
Okay.
I
Yeah.
can make this FIS again null, not pointing to anything. I can make like this. So
But
initially
few of the
FIS.
lines will not be executed, right?
Sorry?
Few of the lines like hello world second will not be
No,
executed.
those will not be
So
executed because of finally no impact is there. From 16, line number 16, obviously the flow will come to line number 23 since arithmetic is there. After catch is completed, before going to line number 34, finally will execute. Finally is a block that will always execute. You cannot stop to execute at all. Even if his catch is there, it will come with try finally, try catch finally. These are the combinations. Three combinations are there: try
so
finally,
Ashok,
try catch finally,
yeah.
and try catch. Yeah, if you have finally, it will
Okay.
surely
We
execute
will.
irrespective of, even if you give a written statement in try or catch, then also it will execute. Finally is a thing that will compulsorily execute.
Okay. So we will miss few codes, right? How
Sorry,
do we recover that? So we will miss this system dot out dot println. We will not be able to recover that.
which one? This one.
Hello world second, yeah.
That is not supposed to recover at all. Some wrong mistake is made by the programmer. You need to correct it. Line number 16. That is why all these things are happening.
Okay.
Okay, runtime exception should bound to
Okay.
occur.
So
Actually speaking, you should not even catch these things. You should leave it. The program should terminate itself. Even when the program terminates, right, before terminating, finally will execute. Okay, finally is a block to just to
okay.
free up the
Okay.
resources. Got it?
Understood. Yeah.
Yeah. So possible cases are, three cases are always possible. So it's also interview questions. People will ask, what are the three cases that are always possible? You can have a try catch. You can have a try catch. Finally, you can have a try finally also. Okay. So those things. So this is all about exception handling. So we will see user defined exception in next class. Okay. So we'll see how to write a user defined exception, and we will start with generics. So more of OOPS concept is done. So now we'll see collection framework, generics like list, array list, set, map, those stuff in the next class. Okay, so next week we will see that, and we will see few of threads which is important. So basic level Java understanding, these OOPS concept collections are important. Okay, fine. Any doubt guys in today's class?
No, sure. Very good.
Okay,
No, I'm clear.
fine.
No, sure.
Thanks. Okay. Okay, guys. Then we will see next week. Fine.
Sure. Sure. Thank you.
Thanks.